Hi, this is Dr. Christopher Maloney, Naturopathic Doctor, talking about antioxidants and oxidation. It's pretty clear at this point that we oxidize to some degree. If you look at my face, you'll see there's wrinkles because I used to spend a lot of time in the sun out working. If you look at anyone's face as they get older, if they're not getting a lot of surgery, they're going to wrinkle up. So that's really oxidation happening on the surface of the skin. And you can oppose those, and if you look at a lot of the creams, what they're doing is they're using antioxidants within that cream, vitamin C, vitamin E. The ascorbic acid will actually strip away some of the dead skin, but also help support the skin underneath. So the skin is clearly being oxidized. Everyone agrees on that. But then there's a whole debate about, well, wait, are we oxidizing inside? And my answer is, well, yeah, the skin is the outside, and then down your throat and in this GI tract, you've got basically, the GI tract is basically trading itself over every 4 or 5 days. That the surface is very active. And over time, it makes sense that it's going to have some difficulties if there's a lot of oxidation happening. Those cells are going to start becoming more and more resistant, and that oxidation process is going to lead to breakdown over time. But that doesn't mean that you need to run out and buy a whole big jar of antioxidants. Because the problem I have with antioxidants as a whole is that you'll take one substance, let's take a resveratrol, or let's take resveratrol. And so this is a substance that's in the skin of grapes, and everyone's running out and buying wine that's high in the skin of the grapes. I'm like, well, the grapes are over here in the produce aisle, why don't you just eat a bunch of grapes? And the guys arguing against it said, well, these grapes are only 2% or 1%, and we've got this wine that's 60 or 70% resveratrol, and you should spend $150 on this. And my answer is, well, wait a second, but the grape antioxidants were actually generated by a natural process. They're generated to do it, and you're dumping a ton of these antioxidants into me, and I'm left with a sense of, wait a second, let's look at what antioxidants do. So let's take the simplest antioxidant. The resveratrol is a little more complicated. Let's take the vitamin C as a simple. So vitamin C comes into your body. It's ascorbic acid. Now it will take an electron very easily. It will take away that oxidation process. But if you take a ton of vitamin C, it's an acid. So it actually will piss off your lining and make you unhappy and give you diarrhea. So a ton of vitamin C is not necessarily a great thing. So suddenly with resveratrol, you're taking a ton of resveratrol, and my answer is, well, do we know this is a good thing? Do we have the studies that show, we have studies that show that this is a very strong antioxidant, but do we have studies that show that this is a really good thing long term? No, we don't. The idea is that we take, the big studies that are done are epidemiological studies. They're studies done on populations. The Mediterranean population, they all eat this really good food, and look, they all look really good, and they have good heart health despite eating all these fats and things. And my answer is, then eat like that. That's what we should do. We should be eating like that, or doing things like they're doing, not turning around and packaging all your tomato sauce in a little pill called Lycopene Plus or whatever. Sorry, I don't even know if that's a brand. And swallowing that down every day. That doesn't serve the same purpose. You haven't sat down to a 4-course meal with your family and laughed and had a great time for 2 hours a day. You swallowed a lycopene pill. That's really unlikely to do the same thing for your body. So when you're talking about antioxidants, you'll find that over and over again, I'm pushing people away from taking the supplements to eating the foods. And that's, again, because when you look at, say, a plum, we can go back to a grape. Let's go back to the grape because we're following this along. So we have a big grape, and the grape has got the resveratrol process in it, and it also has about 4,000 to 6,000 other compounds. And a lot of those compounds have not been isolated out, and they have not been shown to be, very, wonderful for you. But you know what? Chances are people who eat lots of grapes are doing pretty well. So maybe we would be better off eating this whole grape. When you start breaking that down, things like that, what you find is that the whole substance actually has a variety of checks and balances. So the resveratrol would be one piece, but then there'd be something else to help to repair between times. Because the grape didn't make it for you, it actually made it for itself to help survive. And so there's a whole bunch of other compounds that help interact with that resveratrol or something else that help balance things out. And when you start breaking it down into a lab, you see that the side effects, the other compounds, are actually beneficial. Not as much as the one active compound, but very much a supplement, an added benefit. So what we're seeing again in the supplement industry is you're starting to see people going towards whole food supplements. And my answer is, okay, that's kind of not quite where we need to be, but okay, I get the idea. You're going to a whole food supplement. But I'd rather the people, I can't push supplements still because I'd rather people eat the whole foods. If someone says to me, I don't have time to eat juice or I don't have time to do it, I say, well, I'm not supposed to help you support that. I mean, if you're in crisis and you need to have some, pills that are whatever, that's fine. But long term, if you're looking at the solution, you need to look at eating those foods. That's what we need to do. So antioxidants as a whole are wonderful, they're fabulous, and eat them as food. Don't go out and buy $30 worth of supplements and think it's going to change your life. The closest thing I've come to that recently is I've actually started drinking the large quantities of resveratrol drink or the stuff. And I do notice a change for a short period of time. I might really enjoy that gallon jug of whatever, 2 or 3 of those. And then I find that it makes me sick. It makes me just kind of, oh, I don't want any more of this. And that's the same as you'd find with any other food substance. You've had 40 pieces of corn this week. Chances are next week you're not going to want any more corn. So that's the same thing is true for the resveratrols or the antioxidants of the gojis or the nonis or whatever they are, the acai berry. These things are all good compounds to have as part of your food. But you have to realize that, at least here in Maine, we get sold all this stuff from somewhere else. And then I look in Southeast Asia, and they're being sold, blueberry surprise. The blueberries are down there in Southeast Asia. So you got to think to yourself, someone's busy marketing this stuff to me, and they're not interested so much in my health as in my wallet. And so in the end result, I should look around locally, see what foods are available, see what things look really good to me, and eat a large quantity of those, and put my money towards those local antioxidants, those local really good foods, rather than spending them on bottles of stuff. All right, this is Dr. Christopher Maloney, Naturopathic Doctor, talking about antioxidants. Thanks.